Well, that's what we have right here, homegrown. Eleanor Roosevelt, University of Maryland. He's there in the district where he lived and grew up and continues to serve. Okay, he's a prominent member of the House of Delegates. He's your friend, he's my friend. He's a rising star. And the proof of that is the people in this room tonight. This is like a statewide fundraiser. Martin O'Malley would be proud to have a crowd like this tonight at his fundraiser, I can tell you that. He'd certainly be proud to have all the enthusiasm that's here. You know Justin, you like Justin, you're so very proud of Justin. Please welcome your very good friend, the current delegate from District 22, and the next super delegate from District 22, Justin Ross. Come on, here, Justin Ross. Thank you so much.
Let me tell you the one thing I've learned about politics so far in my career is that governing is about choices. The most obvious example of that, of course, is what we're doing now. There's a campaign, and this fall there's going to be a race, and we're all going to go out, we're all going to pick the candidate we think is best. And by the time that's happened, the candidates here in Maryland will have spent millions of dollars on consultants and pollsters and putting together campaign ads and come up with catchy focus group tested messages. They all sound so great, like making Maryland better, or smaller governments, or protecting freedom. I mean, that sounds great. I want to protect freedom, right? I mean, who doesn't want to protect freedom? Of course. These things all sound incredible. So you'll hear people start talking about making Maryland better, smaller government, protecting freedom, and these things all sound wonderful. But the reality is behind the buzzwords and the bumper stickers, what these folks are really talking about have some very serious consequences. And I got a couple examples tonight. My buddy Mohammed Diabate, who is probably outside or running around. Let's give Mohammed a round of applause. Mohammed came to this country 7 years ago from his native Ivory Coast because of the Civil War. He immediately got involved in Upward Bound at Eleanor Roosevelt High School. He graduated with honors. He finished University of Maryland. He graduated in 4 years. I'm looking at my mom because I didn't graduate in 4 years. It took me a little longer. And the reason he was able to do that is he worked full-time at a job, and he availed himself to everything there was to avail himself to, every scholarship there was. And the reason he was able to finish school and go to school is because of the choices we made to make public education and college education affordable in this state. It did not happen by chance. It was a choice that Governor O'Malley, folks like Mike Miller, Senator Pinsky, the Democrats in the House, we decided to hold the line on tuition for 4 straight years. Didn't have to happen that way. Didn't have to happen that way. It was a choice that we made. Folks, we got important choices coming up in this next election. Now look over here, you see the folks in colors. Let's give colors a round of applause. If you don't know colors yet, you soon will not be able to forget them. They're going to perform as soon as we're done. And all the folks here go to Prince George's County Public Schools. Now, since 2002, the state of Maryland has increased funding, I'll get this number, folks, has increased funding to public education by 82%. 82% is how much the state has increased funding to public education to the localities. All right? Tell me something else that's going up 82% in the last 8 years. Not a thing. Maybe your health care premiums, but thank you, President Obama. We're going to have done something about that too. The 82% increase, all right? Now that was our choice. That was our idea for bettering tomorrow, by investing in our children. That was our idea. But let me show you. This is an amendment that was proposed on the House floor this year. It was proposed by Delegate Schenck, and he was going to take $1 billion out of the budget, essentially on the backs of public education, particularly in Prince George's County. This is their plan. This is the plan, and I'm sorry folks, this got the support of every single Republican on the House floor. I'm calling balls and strikes. This is their plan, all right? And I know we can do better than that. This is not our plan. We invest in our children. So let me say this. We've invested in public education. We've invested in college tuition. We've invested in health care in this state. So when you start hearing these politicians coming around in the fall talking about we're going to make Maryland better, I want everyone in this room to ask one very simple question. Make it better for who? Because if you're not standing up for people that are trying to put themselves through school, if you're not standing up for the folks up here, the 130,000 public school kids, including 2 of my very own, if you're not standing up for the state and the family, then who are you standing up for? Nobody on that. Now, that idea might be popular. I just want to say this. I'm getting all fired up because it is important. And I look around the room and I see a lot of important folks, and the important folks over here with their colors t-shirts on, all the young people, and all that ideas about all those beautiful, ideas and bumper stickers and buzzwords and all they got. That might be popular at tea parties. Right? I got news for you. We don't have tea parties in Prince George's County. We have barbecues in Prince George's County. Not here in Maryland. They might have sold it in Virginia. They might have brought that stuff in New Jersey. But it's not going to happen in Maryland this year. No way. I need everybody in this room committed to make it happen. We are going to beat that ideology back. That's right. We're going to beat it back. Yeah. Now, let me very quickly, because you give a politician a microphone, I'll be here all night. But before we get done, I want to say, everybody who's from Prince George's County, I want you to make some noise. Now, we have some very important choices to make too. We have an election coming up in the Democratic primary for county executive. All right? And let's face it, there have been some good things that have happened over these last several years. We have the National Harbor. It's a beautiful project. It really, truly is. It is genuinely wonderful. The Arts District is coming alive down on Route 1. We should be very proud of that. And we have had great successes in many of our schools, but not all. We've had a dramatic decrease in crime in many of our neighborhoods, but not all. But if we're brutally honest about it, there's a lot of folks that live in this county, a lot of our neighbors that aren't better off. If we're really, truly honest about it. There's a lot of folks in this county that are doing worse. There's still way too many neighborhoods that are broken down by poverty. There's way too many communities that are still gripped by addiction. There's way too many of our neighbors that still live in fear of violence in their neighborhoods. And I think if we're completely honest about this, folks, and the numbers don't lie, like I say, call calls and strikes, there are neighborhoods in Prince George's County today that are more violent, that are more drug addicted, that are more incarcerated, and are less literate than the day that Dr. King walked this earth. And that's the real truth. So folks, we got a decision to make. We have a choice to make. And the choice is, are we committed to making strides to end poverty and the addiction and the violence that accompanied it? Or are we going to be okay with the fact that we've got some gated communities and some high-end retail, and that's going to be enough to convince us that the real reality doesn't exist? That's the choice we got. We need to decide whether our racial and religious and class diversity that we have in this county is going to be a point that folks can pick apart and use to have friction and division within us. Or are we going to be able to prove once and for all, Prince George's County can prove once and for all that a community that judges its citizens by the content of their character and not color, class, creed, or credential not only is possible, but it is better. We can prove that if you're willing to be committed. That's the choice we got to make. So I got a couple of questions for you. Is good enough good enough? No. Do you believe we deserve a government that's as good as its people? Yes. Do you believe that we can do a whole lot better? Yes. Then I need you to trust me on this. The next county executive must be Rashawn Baker. I will never